All right. Hey, folks. How y'all doing this week?
Us or the people watching?
I was talking to you, but if anyone
Oh,
wants to
okay.
jump in the chat too, that could also be. I'll say it's to the collective you. So whoever
Yeah.
feels that it's addressed to them.
Yous, yins, y'alls.
Yeah, you folks. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
how are you doing?
I'm a
I'm good.
folk. I'm good. My body hurts though. Inadvertently, I did a really intense workout, trying to move a really big countertop. It was the heaviest piece of furniture I've ever attempted to lift.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
What were you moving it for?
My wife's opening a retail store that sells plants, and we noticed there's another plant store in Chicago that was closing, and they were giving away their counter. So we went and got it, and they told us it was heavy, but we didn't know that it was extremely heavy.
Well, that's it's always good to get a free workout though. People pay money for
That's
that
true.
these days.
It made me think that I should start paying money for it.
Yeah.
Now, fight the instinct, Dylan. Fight the instinct.
Well, how about you, Chris? How was your week?
Good. I'm still basking in the glow of demo day, which I know we're going to be talking about here today. But I'm also ramping up. You both are going to EOSS, which is in Seattle, in 2.5 weeks. I'm going to Embedded World in a week and a half with our coworker Marco. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. Lots of demos that we'll be taking there too, and it's always fun to see a lot of people that are there, meet with partners, meet new people. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
Well, that was actually a rhetorical question because the best part of your week was definitely getting breakfast with me, but that's fine.
Oh,
Apparently, it
sorry.
didn't register with you. So,
Right. I did forget about that. Yeah. Yeah. Even though we are an all remote company, Dan and I happen to live in the same city, which is a treat. It's a
it
treat.
is a treat.
We do have a maximum rule of 2 people per city.
Ah,
So if you do,
yeah. If the third person comes in, they got to
choose-
fight one of us.
Yeah.
yeah, if you choose to join Goliath at some time later, you'll have
Stay
to
out of Durham.
select the city that's not already taken.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now the rules have been laid out for everybody, so that's good to know.
Yeah. Everyone knows. Okay, cool. So, as Chris mentioned, we had our hackathon last Friday, and then we did our demos on Tuesday, actually. And our demos were so exciting and fun that we wanted to show them off here. Now, I will say this might be part one of showing these off because we happen to have a lot of folks who are out of office today due to holidays this weekend and that sort of thing. And so we are going to show some of them. We'll have a few more guests who hopefully stop by in our stream today. But all three of us, I think, have demos to share. I was mentioning always the tricky thing with doing your demo again a couple days later is that you inevitably like continue hacking on it and you break something, right? And so in that spirit, I am not going to go first because I need to fix something on mine. So one of y'all is going to kick us off.
Sounds
And
like
I'll put you
Dylan's
on the
going
spot.
first because I also need to fix something on mine.
Perfect.
I think I have it working. Did we share with the folks on the stream yet what the theme of this hackathon was?
We didn't.
Yeah, that's probably relevant for Dylan's. Yeah,
I
not
can
all of
share
us
it
followed
ahead of
it either,
time.
though. Yeah.
So an optional theme we introduced as a test this hackathon. We at Goliath do hackathons every quarter, and this theme was April Fool's hacks. Most of us agree that we shouldn't announce something on April Fool's Day that's like a fake product feature, but we still wanted to channel our inner April Fools and do something fun with it. So the theme for the hackathon was April Fools. So I'm gonna try to give the demo exactly as I gave it, and see and see what you all think. So I will share my screen here. All the prompts in StreamYard. Okay. Can you all see Goliath?
Need to add it to the
console
stream.
being
Hold on one
shared?
second. Yeah, there we go.
Here we go.
Can you
This
maybe go a
is-
little bigger on the old text size?
We'll see what that does to
Oh yeah, okay.
my
If not,
demo.
people can
It-
zoom in.
it should
Yeah,
look
they
more.
can zoom in.
Actually, it might look good.
Is your demo not responsive?
It's a hackathon, and for folks who are not familiar with who I am, I'm a product manager, rusty software developer. So, but I did participate in writing some code. So this is the Goliath console. We recently, if you've followed Goliath for a while, maybe like 9 months ago, we did a rebrand to this cute little guy here, the Goliath. And I've been in a lot of customer conversations. You know that our name is Goliath spelled wrong, right? We put IoT in the middle. Sometimes folks don't know how to pronounce that as Goliath. So a lot of times we'll get Golioth as like we join a call with the person for the first time. So I thought we might just rebrand the company again to call it Golioth because that's what folks are saying. So I used ChatGPT to generate a new logo for us, Golioth. It actually was pretty good. With this logo here, it's a shield with a glove that says IoT, protecting the net of your IoT device network.
The internet.
So the network. Anyway, but rolling out a new brand is a big thing, and I'm a product manager. I like experiments, so I thought, how could we roll this out only to some users? And I wanted to do it in the way that was the most work for the user, because that's the best experience. So I thought, hey, why don't we send out an email to all of our users that tells them to change the branding to Golioth with a set of instructions here. So you log into Goliath, and then you go to your organization settings. So organization up here at the top. My organization is IoT Products Are Us. It's going to be a big company one day. You go into settings, and there's a new tab here, theme. Anyone joining now, this is a hackathon. This is not in production. So under the theme, you can now change the logo. So if we go back to this here, I just used GitHub as a static file hosting service for a moment here. I didn't have time to implement actual logo upload. But if we hit save on this, we should see a new logo, but it's kind of hard to see. So I had to add more customization options. So we can change the background of this header here to make it a little more clear. I have the hex code from our new branding guidelines off the screen. Let me just grab that.
While you're doing that, I just added a little disclaimer ticker under the bottom of their screen there as well.
That's
So,
great.
Yeah, that way we don't have to keep repeating that these are hackathon things.
I'm not sure how well this goes with my top of mind this week about having production ready hacks, but
Well, I said
they are-
yet.
Right.
They're not Goliath features yet.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's
Some of
it's
them-
about choice, Dan. It's about
Right.
Whether we turn them on for you, the user.
True,
right?
true. Yes, I did call that out. That not all users have access, but some of us do.
Yeah. you want access to some of this stuff? Give us a shout. We're here.
For sure.
Lines are open. We're make your donation today.
I am a big fan of production ready hacks, by the way. I've done a lot of hackathons over the years, and I always try to do something with the mindset that it would ship into product. If not today, but one day. Got my my brand color here, so if I save that, we now can see the nav has changed to neon yellow. But this purple, this is still one of the Goliath colors, so why don't we change that to make it look what is that primary color? Make that hot pink, And while we're at it, this white is a little hard to see on the neon, so we can make it black. Save the theme. And now we got pink buttons. And I think if I refresh, there we go. There's a little gift box. Didn't make the cut. But here we go. We got a fully new brand of Goliath. And it is now called Golioth. And if I log out, it didn't get it on the login page. It's only in my organization, unfortunately. But if I sign in again, it should persist that custom theme there. So that's the hack. In a more a real sense, like in a production use case, Goliath has a partner program. We have a lot of design partners who work with our customers or their customers to help build their end IoT products. And I thought it would be cool. Usually when I do hackathons, it's like a low priority thing that I think is cool that could be in production at some point. So we grab like the first partner, Altutech, one of our partners. We could try to mimic their branding. They could try to mimic their own branding inside of Goliath using this feature. Let me kind of get the idea, but let's see. I changed everything to pink and neon, so let's do. I have a color picker here. Alrighty. Let's see. Pick a color. We can make it look good. We'll make the primary color their color. They probably don't like the neon yellow though. That's black. Here. So if you're a partner of Goliath watching, you could perhaps at some point have this functionality. If you want it, talk to us and let us know, and we can. Someone like Dan can make the code better because I'm a product manager implementing this. Yeah, so that was my hack project. It gave our head of marketing a heart attack, I think, when I started rebranding everything to Golioth.
I think she might be making an appearance on the stream, so we can get her live takes on your branding styles. But Chris, did you? Well, actually, first of all, Chris, do you have any thoughts on Dylan's demo here?
You know, I mess with brands all the time, so yeah, sign me up. No, this is great. I think the first thing I thought when I saw it was Dale Carnegie in 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. Nobody loves anything more than the sound of their own name, and I think this is allowing our console to do the same. You know, so it's great. It's good stuff. What about you, Dan? What do you think?
I am a big fan, and I think Dylan pointed to one of the reasons why when talking about some of our partners who might have like multiple customers themselves. That's kind of the realm in which I think being able to set some of your own branding really legitimizes your use of Goliath and makes it more catered to what you're doing. I think another thing that came up when Dylan demoed this on Tuesday. Demo Dylan. We just call Dylan Demo internally because of he demos so much. That's not true. I mean, you do demo a lot. We don't call him that.
I was demoing today at All Hands too.
Yeah, maybe we will call you that from now on. But now I've totally lost my train of thought. But no, the other thing that it came up was just general org settings. So there's other places where you might want to be able to customize the appearance of your org or turn off some functionality, for example, especially if you have maybe a more complex organization structure. So I think one that came up this week was some folks love using our simulator. Some folks want to hide it, especially maybe hide it from some folks in their organization. And it's kind of like floating around all the time. So, we can obviously allow you to remove it when you open up your browser. But some folks just don't want it around at all. They don't want that to be a capability. And so that's like another area where generally having organization settings, whether it's styling or functionality, I think is something we've heard from a number of folks.
User-defined feature flags. I'll create the ticket.
Right. Go for it. Cool. Chris, did you get yours ready in that time frame?
I did.
All right.
And I'm
that
probably
makes
going to show
one
you
of
guys
us.
a feature that you don't know about StreamYard, which is you can pull in a second camera, which is pretty great. It's a little bit of a fuzzy camera, but all right. So we're going to start with the dev board. As all, excuse me, as all good hardware demos do, it starts with the dev board. Now, I am mostly showing off. Our coworker Mike is off today, and I think he might be here next week or the week after to talk about a lot of the guts of this thing, especially some of the output. But we've been playing around with Bluetooth quite a bit, and we're excited about some of the things we're doing there. We're actually going to be showing off one of our partner demos at Embedded World around Bluetooth mesh. And if I'm being completely honest, when I was doing the hackathon, I was thinking, I wonder if I could squeeze this in as a Embedded World demo too. I had the thought, could I bring this with? And as you'll see in a second here, it did not end up working out in a mechanical manner to something that I would bring to a trade show, but it did work. And so I'm also going to share a screen, and I'm going to share this screen. And you're going to see a lot of scrolling text here. And so on the left side here, I know it's, let's see if we can make this a little bigger. Oh, there we go. A little bigger. How's that? Is that readable? I know this is going to be a smaller over here. What you see though, and I guess I can maybe pause. No, I don't know how to pause the terminal. So this is just scrolling advertising packets coming off Bluetooth. So what you see on here, this is an NRF9160DK, and as the name implies, it has a NRF9160 on it, which is a cellular Cat-M1 NB-IoT modem that we use very, very often at Golioth. In fact, many of my demos have them in there. And here's another little teaser. You'll see this guy. This is a new custom board we'll be showing off at Embedded World as well. It's in our blog post this week. That one also has an NRF9160 on it. So it has got a Cortex M30 dual Cortex M33 on there. We write a lot of our application code to target it. It's one of our continuously verified boards. This one is here. And so I just love that part. It's just a great part and super fun to play with cellular stuff. But what some people don't know is it also has an NRF52840 on board. And so this chip right here, which I'm not sure if it's just that easy to see, this black blob, is a Bluetooth chip and a very popular one. In fact, that is widely deployed out in the world. Lots of Bluetooth devices. Cortex M4. It's being updated to the NRF5340, to the NRF54L20, H20, whatever. So Nordic continues to produce a lot of these chips, but it's a very common chip in the Bluetooth world. What we did is we basically put on here one of the samples from Nordic called the HCI_LPUART, which basically makes it into like a Bluetooth modem. And then what that allows you to do is, whereas you might normally write code to go directly onto this Cortex M4, instead we wrote all the code for the Bluetooth to actually live here on the NRF9160. And that allows you to then have control of the cellular and control of the Bluetooth. And if I'm saying anything wrong right now, I'm sure Mike will update next week. So you have to wait a whole week for that. All right. So then, well, that's just one part of it. This is basically now a gateway. And there's even, there is a gateway, there's a BLE to LTE sample in Nordic, but it's not quite what we wanted to do. And it wasn't talking to Golioth yet. So Mike wrote a bunch of gateway code and a bunch of peripheral code. And me as the hardware engineer, I said, just show me the peripheral code and show me where to change things. And that's what I did. I guess I didn't have, maybe I can pull up the document here. Arch attack. Nope, that's not it. There was a Notion page somewhere. There it is. I really just want one of the images on here. And so I am only showing off a small part of this overall thing, which is this. Full screen. All right, so this is basically what I did. And you'll also be able to see it here. This is the beast that I created. And this is basically, I took an NRF52840 Feather, which is a wonderful Adafruit breakout board, and I retargeted the code that had been going onto NRF52840DK onto this Feather board, right? So Mike and I did some initial work on the DK, then we ported it to this Feather board, retargeted pins, all the stuff that Zephyr's great at. And then I went and I wanted to use a chipset that was already had a Zephyr driver. And the INA219 is a power monitor that has that. So there's a bunch of Zephyr code already in there. And so a little bit of code refactoring later, I was able to then take the weather sensor that Mike had been using. Mike had used a BME 280 and instead targeted an INA219. This is all to say that now, and I also, sorry, the buck converter here is also just to power the whole thing, power the whole shebang off of the actual battery itself, because we're actually monitoring this right here. I guess I can show this in isolation mode as well. So normally in a DeWalt system, it would just take this, really tempting fate now. This is what one of their lamps looks like. And this is what an LED, or this is one of the battery packs looks like. And I was like, well, I want to make something for the in between here. I want to make something that goes in between these two. So I made that. This is just an off-the-shelf one. This is a 3D print thing. Wired it all together. Got it all, lots and lots of hot glue later. And I guess I should just show it actually working. So now if we go back to the console, you see I've got auto refresh real time. This is on, nope, you're not seeing that. So auto refresh real time. You see this is our LightDB stream for my device. And so what I'm hoping is that once the battery gets plugged in, you'll see the code on the left side here, the gateway code. It'll recognize that device, and then it'll start subscribing to the stuff coming off of the Bluetooth device. There we go. Attribute handle 25, 26, 28. Oh, there you go. Look at that. And now we're streaming Bluetooth data from this device into here. And if I hit expand, you can see that we have the Bluetooth ID, which is, this is the Bluetooth ID of this NRF52840 Feather. So it's basically transmitting Bluetooth out of there. It's going this very long distance to right here. So all of the RF engineering that I did not do. And it's transmitting its voltage, current, and power, right? Because you only really need current and voltage to calculate power. But then what you also need to do is you actually need to consume some current to actually do that. And you see as soon as I turn on that light, it hops up to 148 milliamps. Turn it back off. There we go. So you see this data just streaming right through, and you're able to detect usage of this Bluetooth now connected LED lamp, which, a lamp isn't that fun, but then you can also, plug in basically into the entire DeWalt ecosystem. In theory, I could tie all of these things in here. I later found out that you actually do need to have, I think, the thermistor pin exposed on the battery in order for the drill to operate. I think because it's like, hey, I'm a drill. I don't want to overheat the battery and explode. Totally fair. So I have to expose that pin still and pull that up through on this demo. But for now, the lamp works. And like I said, you can, every second you're just pulling in new readings. And yeah, it's just ready to go. Then if I unplug the battery, you'll see on the left side here, now the gateway, it just goes right back to looking for the messages coming from devices it understands. We did misuse one of the Bluetooth characteristics. So we used the HT and we overloaded that in the early stages. So mine is still kind of stuck back in those early stages where we're overloading one of the standard Bluetooth message types. But what Mike's going to show next week is how we evolve that, and then how Mike evolved that to be much more generic and much more interesting past that. And Chris was still hot gluing stuff, so I was not able to pull my code up. So yeah, some Bluetooth stuff from Golioth, and hopefully more Bluetooth stuff. Like I said, we'll have Bluetooth mesh demo. That'll be a Bluetooth mesh network controlled by an NRF9160. Sorry, controlled by a Thingy 91, which is also an NRF9160. Yeah, so lots of exciting stuff around there. And we already work great with Thread. Bluetooth was kind of its own thing, and now we're diving right into Bluetooth world too.
That is awesome. Did you? My immediately thought of what other devices in your house could you do this with? Have you tried with any other ones yet?
I am not. I do have Home Assistant actually right behind this monitor. I
Okay.
have a box running or a Raspberry Pi running Home Assistant, and I was able to pull my toothbrush characteristics off of there. And it's interesting learning more about how just Bluetooth works. Despite it not being in the industry for a long time, I never really dove into Bluetooth because I didn't have any reason to. And the fact that it's just like these devices are just spitting out their characteristics, it's a little bit freaky. I think it's kind of like the security by obscurity. Like, should my neighbors know that I'm brushing my teeth any given time? I don't know. It's fine, but it's
Nice.
just a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I was
The
just
dental
thinking.
insurance companies are going to be war driving.
Oh yeah, right. Maybe you should explain what war driving is, Dylan.
The dental insurance companies are going to drive around with Bluetooth packet sniffers and determine how often you're brushing your teeth and
There you
adjust
go.
your
Yeah.
premiums.
Yep. Maybe that could have been the April Fool's joke. We could have like said that we can install these in a neighborhood and know a whole neighborhood is brushing their teeth or not.
We should do it. Maybe
Yeah.
you can come over to my house and see if I'm brushing my teeth. I have a
dumb
not
toothbrush?
smart. Yes, I have
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Analog
but
toothbrush.
Toothbrush
say, Dylan?
classic.
Yeah. Toothbrush
Legacy
original.
toothbrush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. This is awesome. I now want to try to connect some things in my house. Although I don't know, Dylan, I was thinking of you during this demo because you've kind of been embracing, as you mentioned earlier, some plant related gadgets. Do you have any Bluetooth ones that you're currently using?
I don't. I have some little less than $1 humidity sensors that are not connected at all. I have a whole box of gadgets that were meant to be wired together, but my time for side hacks is not happening. This is a soil sensor that has a pump built into it from M5 Stack. I have a whole bunch of little M5 Stack sensors that all plugged in. This is it's a mister atomizer, they call it. So it heats up the water and creates steam. So this would be to create humidity for the plants.
Usually those are ultrasonic, aren't they? Like how
ultrasonic atomizer is what it's called.
Yeah. Doesn't heat it up; it just vibrates it.
Vibrates it. But then, don't the atoms get warm enough to turn into steam? To evaporate?
I didn't think it was steam.
I don't know. Anyway, I spent maybe 4 hours starting to get this thing working. I flashed a build on it and the screen didn't turn on afterwards. So when Mike is back, I'm going to have to... I think I said this in the last stream. I just have not done anything with it since then. Instead of moving heavy objects. Instead of trying to code.
Nice. Well, as you may have noticed, Ariana, our head of marketing, who we were alluding to earlier, who was aghast at Dylan's hack on Tuesday, has joined us and is first of all, Ariana, you've never been on the stream, so do you want to kind of start off with introducing yourself?
Yeah. So thank you. I kind of crashed your party here. My ears were burning. And I'm Ariana Faustini. I'm head of marketing here at Golioth. And to be frank, I just kind of let the engineering team do what they want with our brand because it's all about you guys anyway. It's all good. You guys are good.
And we are recording this, Dan, right? We got that on camera.
Not use this against
we
me.
can do anything.
Just get the timestamp, and every time Ariana's like, "Wait, Chris, what did you do here?" I'll just be like, "Timestamp."
Yeah. We'll convert it to a GIF and do a / command in Slack. So.
I will go on record saying I'm not the biggest fan of AI art, but you know what? You guys make it work. It's all right. We're gonna let that slide. So, I actually participated in the hacks this time. I don't normally do that, but we had like all this effort put into the launch of our Universal Firmware SDK. Very exciting. And so, as a little treat for the team that works so hard, Sam and company, I hacked together a shirt, for that one SDK to rule them all. And I have no idea how to present, share my screen. Is that what we're doing?
That's
here?
right. Yep.
Okay. It's messy, y'all. So watch out.
That's what hackathons are for.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Apparently, you can't share. You can't share Adobe Illustrator. Well, we're just gonna have to go to the lab here. So I played around with Echo. You may have seen Echo coming along in different assets. I know we introduced him in the newsletter and in a few other places. You might find him on our homepage in the support chat.
Cover art for this stream as well.
Cover art for this stream. Yeah, that's right. And so because we have now one SDK to rule them all, as witnessed here, I created a little shirt for the team. And that was my hack. And it took a surprising amount of time to hack together this part of the hack. And I won't say how long because, first of all, graphic design is probably not my passion. But we got it done. And I'm excited to ship those out. Speaking of shipping things out, I also was this morning hacking together. It's still very hacky looking. A landing page to meet Echo. I got to fill it in a little bit more to tell Echo's story, but we've got like a little bit here. Like he's a bat dog. And why a bat dog? Well, because bats are like these ultimate flying sensor machines. They're compact little sensors. A group of bats is known as a cloud. They echolocate. There's too many parallels to the development world to like not use a bat. But why a dog? They're friendly, and so is Golioth. Their nose and ears are amazing sensors, and they're cute. So not much more beyond that. Fun story. Chris is the one who kind of imagined Echo. And so it was a homegrown engineering based marketing
I typed some stuff
thing.
into Midjourney. Yeah, I think that's what Ariana really means to say.
But
then I helped filtered.
Yes, but like if you want a free Echo sticker, I have some very cute Echo stickers, and I'm willing to ship them anywhere in the world. So if you go to, I'll put the landing page link here in the comments, but it is our shortcut domain, which is glth.io, meet Echo. You can request your own Golioth sticker, and I'll get those out to you. That was my hack.
It's great.
Yeah, that is incredible. I love it.
I love all the animations too these days.
Yeah,
It's
I was gonna say that too. I love.
Yeah, I gotta update the one on the landing page there. It's a little bit grainy, and I have like an actual JSON file that I can use. But
can you share the new one on the bench? Is that worth sharing yet or no?
Yeah, I can share that. Hang on, I gotta figure out how to like.
Switch screens, maybe.
Yeah, I gotta flip onto. Share this tab. Yeah, so we'll have a bunch of different animations, but this one's probably the older one, has some edits to it recently. But for example, it should not be fiery.
I love that discussion in Slack.
If you're soldering, soldering, right? Or soldering.
Either one's fine.
Okay. If it's going on fire, I've learned you've got a problem.
It bad.
It's more exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I do have the right one. Okay, so there. That's the right one.
Yeah,
a little bit of steam or smoke. not fire.
Just getting a little fumes in there, you know. There's a extractor slightly off screen here, so Echo is safe. Don't worry.
Safety first.
Right. I love my favorite part is definitely the tongue out, like while Echo is working. That's the best part to me. That's amazing. Well, Ariana, I think it was a very worthy hack, and I'm glad that you participated. And I hope in the future you do as well, because we get great swag out of it when that happens.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Like, I mean, I have to go to the post office right after this because we got these cool tone-on-tone shirts that I'm sending out. And then, like, for anybody watching the stream, if you're working at a product development shop or anything like that, and you want to explore with Golioth and you just don't have the time to like flash the new SDK onto some sort of development board, set up a meeting with us. I think you can go to our homepage and just talk to a human, and you'll be speaking with Brian, Dylan, or Chris, and or even Jonathan, our CEO, and we will ship out a cool pre-flash Thingy 91 to you if you've got like a real use case that you want to start exploring with Golioth. We just want to make it as easy as possible for you to get started with your projects. So that's always an option too. And it would be coming in a cute little box. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I've got some cool swag to send along with that if you've got that use case. But schedule a meeting with us and we can kind of get that out to you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining the stream, Ariana. We're gonna have to have you on more frequently if we can grab some of your time.
Sounds good. See you guys.
See ya. All right. Well, I think that leaves me here. And I do have the demo working, although I am going to briefly expose some credentials in this demo, which I will then delete. So, but my demo, I had two. I'm going to show one today. And it was primarily focused around our simulator, which I mentioned earlier. So in the console, which I'll pull up in just a minute here, you can, there's a little floating Golioth down in the bottom right corner on some pages. You can pop it open, put some device credentials in, and then basically send data as if you were a device in the field. That lets you, test things like if you have an output stream configured, or you have a stream, you're streaming data just a LightDB stream, and it allows you to just kind of like get your data format in place and make sure you're handling it outside of Golioth well in addition. But we have more ideas for how we want to evolve the simulator. And so I was working on some of those. One part of it was getting access to the UART on our devices. We do that during training now to do things like set credentials at runtime, which is what I'm going to show today. But we'd like for you to just be able to plug your device into your machine and set those without having to, download any other tools or anything like that. So I'm going to be using the NRF 52840 dev kit, if I can get it in front of the camera here, with the ESP AT. So I'm going to be using Wi-Fi, and that's one of our verified boards. So I'll be using Zephyr on this. And I'm just running our hello sample. So it's going to be pretty simple, just sending some messages. But that's really all we need to show off the logs coming through. So let me go ahead and I'll share my screen, and we'll do this window and make sure it's coming through okay. All right, so this is just our console, and as I mentioned earlier, we do have the simulator down here in the right hand corner. You can put some credentials in there and send data. I'm going to be using the simulator over here in its own window. I'm just running this locally. It fills up this whole screen because I don't have it in an iframe, which might actually be nice for demo purposes. But basically what I'm going to do is you'll see these extra buttons down here that are very poorly spaced. And I have serial and USB. So we're going to be mainly looking at serial today. And then maybe we'll talk about web USB a little bit. So this is using web serial and web USB behind the scenes. So I'm going to turn on my 52840. Y'all probably can't see it, but the little J-Link notification came up. And then I am going to select that and connect, and we should see logs start to come through here. So this is just coming over USB into my machine, and then through web serial able to be shown in the console. So that's nice. But we have an issue here. We're failing to connect to Golioth. So I was able to connect to my Wi-Fi network, but not able to connect to Golioth. And that's because my credentials are invalid because I haven't set them yet. But I did configure it as we do in training to allow you to set your credentials at runtime. So if I jump over here to our training site that folks go through once a month, and let's connect hardware to Golioth, you get to a point here where we use the settings shell to set your PSK and PSK ID here, and then reboot the device, and then it comes back up and is able to connect. So I'm going to grab my credentials here for a device and go ahead and paste them in. Soon we'll be able to just import these in directly, so you can just select the device. And then this text box here basically allows us to just send commands to the shell on the device. So I'm going to do settings, set Golioth PSK ID. And when we've entered our credentials, we can reference them as variables. So it does some light parsing before it sends stuff over serial. So I'll set the PSK ID to what I have entered up here. And you can see it's set to dev1 demo. And then I also need to set the PSK, and I can reference that as well. Unfortunately, that is going to be exposed in the logs. So if you're ready to send some messages as this device in my account, ready yourself now, because I'm going to delete it pretty quickly afterwards. So we'll set the PSK there, and we should now be able to, kernel reboot cold. If we reboot, we can see that it is coming back up, connecting to my network, and we are now able to enter the co-op loop and send messages. So I believe these are coming in as logs. Yep. So we can see those coming in and the timestamp matching. So we're able to just do this with your device, upload into your machine, and in the Golioth console once we flip this one over to the new stuff. I also spent more time than I probably should have, and it bled into the weekend a little bit of trying to flash my device from the browser. And I was able to do it with an ESP32. So folks may have seen like the ESP32JS or ESP-Tool.js library. So they have a protocol that they do over serial that you can flash your device. So it's pretty easy. You can just use web serial. But I was trying to do it with this 52840 and also my 9160 DK. And that's a little bit trickier because it's using the J-Link SDK via the NRF JProg CLI tool. And so there is some documentation. Let me see if I actually have it up here.
Dan, while you're looking for that, I'm going to just plug the training real quick as well.
Yeah, go for it.
So if you go to Golioth.io/training sign up, or I guess there's another short link too, but that is how you can go and sign up for April training. We will not, I don't think we'll have Dan's magical stuff in there yet.
We'll see.
But maybe in May. We'll see. Yeah.
Cool. So,
but either way, there's other ways to get stuff onto for now.
For sure.
The slow old way.
Right. So there is some documented protocol for J-Link. So I was getting a little bit. I was able to, for instance, get the version off the device or the version of the J-Link firmware for the onboard debugger on the device on the 52840. But actually flashing the device was using some commands that are not listed here. So I set up Wireshark and sniffed the USB traffic and was able to get the commands back out of it. But I didn't get all the way to reproducing actually flashing the device. But I was able to do some simple information exchange. So we're on our way there, but unfortunately cannot flash the Nordic devices quite yet from the browser. But we'll get there.
Serious question.
Yeah.
Will you be able to get there in 2 days?
By Monday?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Do you have a really, really long USB cable?
I have one you can borrow, Dan.
Say more.
So this was meant to be an April Fool's hack, and I didn't hear anything about April Fools. So I was thinking, no more OTA updates, over the wire updates. And we can show, since Dan, you have a cron job for your body to run every day. Dan likes running. He runs very far. So we can do a
Follow Miss Travel.
montage for the blog post announcing this feature of you running really, really far and plugging in a cable to the device and flashing it from the browser.
Well, that sounds like it involves getting it working and also recording and editing a montage. So I don't know if I'll have that ready by Monday, but maybe.
I do love
maybe
a
we
good
can do
montage.
an April 2nd joke. We could do it with the ESP32 though. So that would be interesting. Although the issue with as we've already detailed that we're not really fans of doing April Fool's announcements. The issue is even if you do a serious announcement, then people are like, well, wait, is this actually there, or is this a real feature or no? Because this looks like a joke, and we're like, no, it's actually real, but we're just funny. So
the shirt that I'm wearing today is from our friends Ribbit Network. They're a user of Golioth, an open source project nonprofit. They actually have built their own little provisioning tool around the ESP web USB for flashing their devices. And if you go through they're an open source like educational platform for climate science. And if you go through their guides, it uses web USB to flash their ESP32 based air quality monitors. It's pretty cool.
that is very cool. I'm just grabbing the URL for Ribbon Network if you want to check it out. It's pretty neat. All right. Well, like I said, unfortunately, there were a number of folks that were out of office today. So we might have to do a Hackathon Demos Part 2 next Friday. And maybe we'll have further. Chris can connect to another device, and Dylan, maybe yours we might have actually really available. So we'll see where we get there. But do you all have any?
Hackathon.
Yeah, right. It's actually just one long hackathon. Life is one
People
long
just
hackathon.
call that job.
Yeah. Do y'all have any fun weekend plans this weekend?
Well, I'm going to be 3D modeling a bunch of stuff.
That does sound fun.
Yeah, but it's for work. So
does that mean it can't be fun?
Yeah, it should be misery.
Right.
Well, it's not fun because I wiped out all of my old files by accident. But
that is not fun.
I could show it real quick. I mean, I really like this view.
Yeah, pop it up here.
I really like so I use FreeCAD for all this stuff, and I had a file corruption error, so I'm kind of hosed on certain things. But this is the board that I showed is the bottom board here, and then the top board is the Astentis. I think there's a way to turn on color again. I don't remember what it was, but I'm not the best 3D modeler, to be honest, nor manipulator.
You're better than me at 3D modeling.
Okay, well, that's something. Yeah, so I'll be printing a bunch of parts and modeling stuff out, and yeah, more of this stuff. I did model some of this stuff is exports from another. Oh man, see that it gets stuck with like the middle button click. I don't know. I'm not very good at this. Yeah, there we go.
How about you, Dylan? What are you up to this weekend?
My sister's in town, so she's like 10 feet from me listening. She's
bring her on the stream.
We're gonna hang out this weekend. Maybe go out on the town.
Nice.
The weather, if the weather is permitting. Don't be
Chicago weather
driving
is
a lot.
treacherous this time of year. You know, it's like might be snowing, might be raining, might be 80 degrees and sunny. You know, you never know.
The destination is to go visit family in Michigan. I'm in Chicago. My sister
yeah.
lives in Seattle. It's significantly cheaper for some reason to fly from Seattle to Chicago than from Seattle to Detroit. So the last couple of times she's gone to visit the family, she either flies to me and then takes a train, or flies to me and we both go visit. So my weekend will be like 10 hours of driving.
Nice.
Sounds like a great time to listen to a Micro Arch podcast. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I saw
You
some new
you could
clips, but
Yeah.
I scroll through and the clips are moving on LinkedIn, but there's no sound by default. So I got to catch up on the audio portion.
I have mine set to like don't autoplay. I can't stand autoplay. It's like my least favorite feature on any site. And also
Now coming to Golioth.
Yeah, right. You also don't get to see the like any of the cover art, because if you have autoplay off on LinkedIn, then you'll like scroll and you'll see you can upload a cover image just like YouTube or whatever. But if it's on autoplay, it just plays the video. So
yeah.
I just see a muted version of what I'm looking at right now. It's you on the microphone with your mouth moving.
Right. Well, most of the clips are me just sitting there listening to someone wiser than I impart some wisdom, but every once in a while I'll chime in with a question. So, well, cool. Well, I hope y'all have some great weekends, and excited to get some of these hacks into production and more real products.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we can go ahead and wrap it up for the week. Thank you all for joining. Thanks to Ariana for hopping on as well. And to everyone watching or listening, hope you all have a great weekend as well. See y'all.